Okay. All right, y'all. Here we go. All right, back live again, man. Shoot, when was the last time I went live? It feels like it's been a minute again. Damn. Maybe like 4 or 5 days ago. Maybe something like that. But yeah, we're gonna talk today. We gotta talk. This is a good. It's a good topic. It's a good topic. Y'all wanted it. Y'all kept talking about it in the chat the other day, so I said we got to talk about this, right? So let's get situated first, and then we'll start at the 5 minute mark like we usually do. All right. Okay. All right, there we go. I don't know. Streaming is weird sometimes. Sometimes like it says 5 to 8 people come in, then it drops to like 2. What's going on? I mean, it ain't the stream. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just YouTube doing that. I don't know. See, numbers always go up, and all of a sudden, like it changed. What's going on? And then some people don't get notifications too, so that's crazy. I don't get it, man. But yeah, I think we got a good conversation for today, man, because everybody been talking about this. All right, yeah, we got like 8 people in here. 8 people, 6, 7, keeps changing. Rick Colombo said, if the top 3 can fight other people than themselves, I see a lot of great fights possible. Yeah, you talking about strawweight division. Yeah, man, we got a lot of great fights in the strawweight division. Definitely, man. But yeah, if you're just joining, we're going to start at the 5 minute mark. We're going to go in a little bit about the career of Mackenzie Dern, of course, as y'all can see the title. You know, everybody in the chat the other day was talking about it. You know, they want to talk about Mackenzie Dern, her chances to get gold, see if she can get that gold, see if she can get that strap. So I said, all right, everybody kept talking about it. Well, had another video going, so I said, we're going to come back and actually discuss it. We're going to actually have a conversation on it. Some people feel she's ready. Some people feel she's not. I'll let y'all know how I feel in a minute. So we'll get started in another 2 minutes here. Okay. There's a resume. Oh, wow. Damn. That's impressive. I'm just pulling something up here. So while we talk, I can just refer back to it. All right. So just waiting for a few more people to come in. All right, 10 people. And we'll get started at a minute and 30 seconds. A minute and 30 more seconds. Memorial Day. I'm off, but I'm just chilling. All right, here we go. Just have to set this thing up so I can just like click back and forth on here. Sometimes I have to get it to have to break it down to a little flow so I can just go back and click and click. All right, here we go. All right, so yeah, we got a few people in here. So yeah, man, let's get started. So yeah, man, welcome back to another CB99 live stream. Of course, I'm Combo Breaker 99, back with another one, man. Feel like it's been a minute since I did a live stream. I think I did one last week, like a live stream, not just like a pre-recorded video, but it feels like it's like a week ago, man. So let me come back on here and bring up this topic here because y'all were talking about it in one of my videos. Y'all were just going back and forth talking about Mackenzie Dern. Like, what can Mackenzie Dern do? Like, Mackenzie Dern can do this. She can do that. She's a big threat for the champion. So I told y'all in the chat, I said, look, that's going to be the topic. That's going to be the topic for the next live stream. What are Mackenzie Dern's chances to get in the title? Like, what's her chances to actually get into the title? Well, I just kind of wanted to go back and research her as a fighter. You know, I just kind of went back and watched some of her fights, looked at her resume, in BJJ. And, I'm impressed with it. Her Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu skills. Like, I always known she was that, that legend in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And I never really thought she would come over to MMA and really advance the way she has, and really make some noise. I mean, there were some rough spots there, here and there, where when she first came into the game, I said, okay, like, she's not necessarily looking like this type of, magician like she does in BJJ. You know what I mean? Like, she still has to make that transition. And I think she realized that herself. Like, reality set in with Mackenzie Dern, and she realized that, this ain't BJJ anymore. She owned the mats, but when you get into the world of mixed martial arts, it's a different thing. It's a different thing. There's so many things you have to learn, so many things you have to kind of humble yourself to, and just say, look, this is what I got to do. This is what I got to do to get better. And I'm going to talk about the one thing that I feel like really helps her, and, with that one thing that's really her flame, that's really keeping her going. I think we all know what I'm talking about. But, yeah, man, like, I know there's some people on the fence. There's some people on this side that feel like she's not ready for the championship yet, or like a title fight, and there's other people feeling like she's not ready. I'm kind of in the middle on it. Y'all know me. I'm like in the middle, like just kind of studying her as a fighter and the moves she's been making, and as far as how she's been growing. I'm kind of in the middle, like exactly where she is in the ranking. She was number 5 a couple weeks ago, but now she's number 6. So she's still kind of in that middle. I kind of feel like right now she's in a good position where she can still grow as a fighter, or she could take that chance, she could take that gamble and just say, yo, I'm ready. Let's go for a title eliminator. Let's go for the big dogs. Let's go for the major fight, which like I said, it's a gamble. It could be a gamble. I mean, honestly, I don't think she's ready for that. I think she's in a good place where she could pick and choose a little bit and still grow as a fighter and not rush it. That's what I was saying the other day when y'all were talking about in the chat. In my mind, I was thinking, how high are her chances of getting the title? With where she stands and how a lot of people feel. Like, even like the matchmakers now, like, what is Dana White really thinking about Mackenzie Dern? Does he really like her chances of getting the title, or, going in for a title eliminator by next year? And another question too, we're going to add to it, like, do we really see her like blowing through maybe at least 2 or 3 top 5 fighters? Like, can she really do that? I don't know. We're going to have to kind of go back and look at some of her accomplishments. We're going to have to go back and look at her resume to see what she's been doing and how she's been growing and how she's been improving as a fighter. So, yeah, before we really delve into that, I got Robert Henry saying here, hold on. Robert Henry said, I promise you, if Mackenzie Dern ever wins the strawweight title, I'm going to visit every Jersey Mike's in this town and demand answers. It's possible, man. I'm going to give you my answer, but it's very possible. I mean, with what she's been doing and how she's been growing as a fighter, it's very possible. That's what I was saying. How high are her chances? How high are they, like, to you? I mean, she does have a lot of strengths, but at the same time, she has a lot of growing to do. So let me pull this up here. We'll talk about her resume a little bit. So, yeah, as y'all know, Mackenzie Dern, her last fight was against Nina Ansaroff, which I know a lot of people don't want to give her full credit for, but, we got to give her some credit for it. She was going in there with a fighter who's been off on a 2-year layoff, of course. Went in there and blasted her out. So I know that's still not a lot of weight considering what we have in the strawweight division, right? It's still not enough. It's not like she blew out a Carla Esparza or Yan Jana. But it still stands for something. It shows you what she can do, what improvement she has made as a fighter, and it did push her up the rankings. So she was number 5 a few weeks ago, number 5 right after that win. But somehow she dropped down to number 6, and Marina Rodriguez moved up number 5. But Marina Rodriguez, her last fight was actually at flyweight, so I don't really know how that elevated her over Mackenzie Dern at this point, you know. But let's actually look at who Mackenzie Dern defeated to really make us say, like, yo, she is part of the elite fighters now. Or is she part of the elite fighters? Going back, her move into the UFC, all the way back, let's go back 3 years. Mackenzie Dern, her first fight, her debut, she won a split decision over Ashley Yoder, which I did a post-fight video on way back. And I felt like Ashley Yoder did enough to win that fight. You know, I can go back and watch it. It could go either way. It was a split decision. But I felt like that was still like some growth in Mackenzie Dern at the time. You know, it wasn't really like she hit the scene and was blowing us away. You know, kind of how like Joanna did whenever she hit the scene. And Andreska Andrade when she came into the 115-pound division blowing girls out, right? There was still growth in her that needed to be done. Her next fight, she went in there against Amanda Bobby Cooper and submitted her in the first round. Of course, Amanda Bobby Cooper came into the fight saying she was going to box her, but it was crazy because Mackenzie Dern came in there landing the big shot and rocking the hell out of Cooper and really doing damage with her hands. So in that fight, we seen something in Mackenzie Dern, like not the best striking, but we definitely seen she has some power in her hands, right? Definitely seen that she's a heavy-handed fighter. If she could develop her hands, she could beat something, right? Her next step up was against Amanda Ebas, and that's where I feel like we really seen where what Mackenzie Dern really needed to work on. And it wasn't like she was dominated or completely exposed. You know, we saw Mackenzie Dern just go in there with a much better striker, a much better balanced fighter at the time. You know, Amanda Ebas had a very good jab in that fight. You know, she has a excellent jiu-jitsu game as well, and she's strong. You know, I feel like Ebas was much more better on her feet, and she had already taken what she knew with her stand-up game and ran with it. You know, Amanda Ebas already took it to a level where she could, you know, fight on her feet or fight on the ground. So that's what we saw in that fight. We saw Amanda Ebas take Mackenzie Dern to school with the basic jab and just good footwork. So right there, that was a time where we said, okay, Mackenzie Dern, she ain't got no boxing. You know, honestly, we were like, okay, this girl has to work on her skill set. So into her next fight, 2020, May 30th against Hannah Cifers. Another fight we really can't say this was like a big significant win because everybody was beating Hannah Cifers. You know, I'm not trying to bash her, but everybody was. You know, she's taking these fights on short notices. She's taking these short notice fights. Everybody's just kind of seeing her as food. So Mackenzie Dern does what everybody else does, right? She goes in there, takes out Hannah Cifers, but Hannah Cifers showed some holes in Mackenzie Dern's game. You know, showed some strength weakness. And this is what I'm saying. Mackenzie Dern, another hole was shown, but she had enough in her to beat Hannah Cifers. You know, she still had that grit. She still had that jiu-jitsu to fall back on. In this fight, what I saw Hannah Cifers expose in that first round was the strength. I saw Hannah Cifers get those underhooks and kind of ragdoll Mackenzie Dern a little bit. You know, she was actually showing who was a stronger fighter. So that was a learning experience. Good learning experience going into her next fight with Randa Marcos. This fight, you could see a change in Dern only in 4 months. You know, you can see a change as far as in her body, you know, putting on a little bit more muscle, looking a little bit stronger. So you can see that she is taking the right approach now to her fight game. Goes in there, scores an armbar over Randa Marcos. Still not a really, really big significant win, right? Okay, she beat Verna Jandaroba by unanimous decision. And I don't know about y'all, I feel like I felt like Verna Janaroba did enough to win that fight. I mean, people could argue with me on that, but I feel like Verna Janaroba, she did enough to win that fight. I thought her stand-up was better. I thought this was going to be like a jiu-jitsu matchup, but it really just turned out to be two grapplers, two jiu-jitsu practitioners wanting to, throw their hands. And they impressed me. They both impressed me with what they could do on their feet. But this was another fight where I said, okay, Mackenzie Dern has stepped up her game, with Jason Perillo, but something about her footwork. She's still not putting it together. Footwork wasn't really on point. Overhand right, she's still kind of, throwing out there, and she still gets a little punch happy, Then that leads us to the Nina Ansaroff fight. Went in there, armbar. Like I said, I'll give her half credit for that. I'm going to give her half credit for that fight. So, let me take a look at the chat here real quick before I go on. Rick Colombo said people want to see Dern. I think that means more than her actual skill level. It does. I agree with you on that. It does. Like, I think the more and more people want to see you, Dana White's going to say the demand is high. I'm going to push that fighter more. I'm going to push that fighter off of height than I am off of skill. You've seen it with Paige Van Zandt. Paige Van Zandt is more popular than she is polished as a fighter, right? Same with Valerie Lareda. Everybody want to see her. They just want to see her, but they don't really want to see her fight. That's why they go ahead and kind of capitalize off of that. Scott Coker, they just say, look, let's put them in there. They're eye candy. That's what it's all about on them. Jason Rose, what's up? He said, what's cooking? I want to see who the best grappler is now. Tatiana Suarez is left. Dern versus Esparza. I think the best grappler is Dern, hands down. I think the best wrestler is Tatiana Suarez. I think it would be neck and neck if Dern and Suarez were in the game, though. Genesis, what's up? I think the litmus test is Tisha. If you can beat Tisha, you're probably championship level. I said that to Rick Colombo. Yeah, I wanted to see Tisha and Mackenzie Dern fight. I thought that would have been a good wrestling match for her. George said Verna's stand-up was better. Yeah, it was better, man. I thought it was better. BJ, what's going on? Yeah, I thought her stand-up was better. I did. I thought it was better in that fight. Make sure y'all hit the thumbs up button, too. Got like almost 20 people, only 5 thumbs up. Please and thank you. Yeah, I thought Verna won that fight. So, yeah, going back and looking at her resume, there's not like a lot of fighters that she really went in there and blasted out, like some big wins. Same with Zhang Weili. They beat the mid-tier fighters before they got to the championship level. I still feel like Marina Rodriguez has better names on her resume. So it's really hard to tell, like, is Mackenzie Dern going to be able to, like, even stop, like, 2 or 3 of the top 5 fighters? You know what I mean? Like, it's hard to see if she could go in there and dominate Zhang Weili, or if she could go in there and dominate somebody like Carla Esparza. I can't really say, man. I really can't say, because based off of those wins, you see that some of these fighters were showing holes in her game. But thankfully, she is the type of fighter to not get frustrated. She does grow. She has been growing as a fighter. Like, I've seen improvements in her fights just as much as I've seen weaknesses. But I've seen more growth. I see more growth in there. So with that, looking at her strengths and her weaknesses, I think we all know what her major strength is, right? She's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu legend, right? She's a black belt. And I'm looking at this resume, and let me see. Hold on. I'm just looking at her grappling record, and I'm like, wow, man, this girl be taking on everybody. She grappled Gabby Garcia like 4 times. Lost a few of them, but she actually beat Gabby Garcia. And y'all seen Gabby Garcia. Y'all seen this girl before. So Mackenzie Dern is really considered a legend in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I mean, look at the winning streak she's going on, and that's just like what she's able to do. I see like over what, maybe 80 fights here, and maybe 60, 70 of them are wins. I don't know, give or take. I'm not counting them all, but yeah, like, I think it's safe to say that is her major strength, right? Her Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Let me pull up something here. Hold on. And yeah, going back to what you were saying, Jason Rose, yeah, like Suarez, yeah, she's a good grappler, but I think that when it comes down to jiu-jitsu and just hitting the ground, I kind of favor Mackenzie Dern in that manner, just off of what she's been able to do and how textbook she makes it look. I think that the better wrestler, all around just getting takedowns and just being able to be physically stronger and ragdoll you, I think that goes to Suarez. Because even like I said, the Hannah Cyphers fight, you could see the difference in strength when Dern and Hannah Cyphers locked up. You could see that Hannah Cyphers was stronger. Hannah Cyphers was actually stronger than Mackenzie Dern. But when it went to the ground, boom, you saw who the better grappler was, who went in for that submission right there, as y'all can see right there. And just again looking at her overall jiu-jitsu, it's just like it's if you really want to learn how to grapple, you just gotta watch it, man. Look how she's just like flowing through it. Like this is the Miranda Marcos fight. I was just looking how she was just able to just flip her and do whatever she wanted. I mean, Miranda Marcos showed some resilience. I mean, she took forever to submit in that fight, but I was just watching like how Mackenzie Dern's working. Like, look at her face, the way she's just in there working, And this right here, this fight with Nina Azaroff, she showed some growth too there, man. It was just how she was able to time a kick from Nina Azaroff and just take her to the ground. So you do see her starting to become a little bit more smart with her jiu-jitsu and not just wait for the fighter to go to the ground and try to take her to the ground. She'll find different ways to set it up, man. Just watching her kind of flow with it, just watching her flow with it is crazy. From that Random Marcos fight to Nina Azaroff. That's why I'm like, when it comes down to the grappler, man, I think that on the ground, it's all her. It's just all her all day, man. Nobody's really touching her in that department in the top 10. I mean, what do y'all think? Top 10, I think it's just really Mackenzie Dern when it comes to jiu-jitsu. And another thing about her strength, right? One of her strengths or plus about her is her physical strength. I think that now that she's kind of started watching her diet, watching her weight, and started training more and started getting fit, she's not coming in missing on weight, coming in off weight. She's really been showing how strong she is. Like after that Cyphers fight, she's been really looking ripped. You can see the abs now, you can see the guns. You can really see that they are working on their strength and conditioning, really. So that's a plus with her. Another plus about her is her hunger, man. And like I said earlier, I was going to mention, y'all know what really makes her hungry. She got that baby now. That's the one thing about having a baby, right? I mean, I don't have one, but everybody that's told me that's had a kid has told me, all the fathers I know, all the mothers I know, like something just kind of wakes up in you. Something wakes up in you where you just become this different person. It's not just about you anymore. And I think that's what it is with Mackenzie Dern. Like, Mackenzie is not fighting for her anymore. Before when she was fighting for her, she was clubbing. She was getting lit. She was turned up every night, right? Y'all used to see her Instagram. The girl was always out there. But since she's had the baby, she's kind of taking a different approach. She's taking a different approach. She's been out there training, grinding. Yeah, so it's crazy, man. People tell me, man, when you have that kid, it changes you. It changes you. Another thing about her willing to grow is another strength about her is her willing to grow. I don't really ever see her come back into another fight looking the same. I mean, she still has some things that she does that she needs to work on, but when Mackenzie Dern comes in there, there's always something new with her. I mean, y'all might not see it, but I see it. There's always something new with her, and I think that she ain't the type of fighter to just go back and let it go one ear and out the other. She's actually taking in what Perillo's teaching her. She's actually going back and saying, look, I need to get better at this. I mean, you see all these other fighters, jiu-jitsu, this is all they know. You can't get them to work anything on their feet. They never want to change, right? But her, she's willing to grow. She's willing to grow as a fighter. Let me check the chat here real quick. Yeah, Genesis, her jiu-jitsu was amazing. Like, that's why I'm saying, like, anybody that gets to the ground with a Genesis, it's like she's just flowing like water. It's like, if you want to learn how to do this, which I definitely don't know how to do it, you got to watch her. Like, I'm just looking at her moves and her transitions, and it's like, no, nobody can match that. Rick Colombo said, "How does a woman grapple Garcia?" You gotta have the strength of prey on your side with that one, man. You gotta have the strength of prey on your side, man. Because that girl, I don't know how she did it. I don't know how she did it. Yeah, George, Torres versus Dern. Yeah, I like that fight. Robin Henry said Vernon won that fight, in my opinion, and ran the show poor octagon IQ in that fight. I don't take that from Dern, but she needs one more big win to see if she's ready for a title shot. But Marina ran. Yeah, man. Yeah, you're right, Robert. She needs one more big win, and I'm gonna talk about that. I'm gonna talk about that in another video, man. I wanted that fight, the Rodriguez fight. Hold on. Nabash said, since Dern versus Rodriguez is not happening, I think Dern will either fight Whaley or Joanna. That's what it's looking like. That's what it's looking like. Against Whaley, she has a chance, but Joanna would destroy her. Man, we're going to talk about that. Yeah, Nabash, we got to talk about that. Definitely. Yeah, hold that thought. We're going to talk about that. I still got to look more into the Marina fight, too, like why she didn't take it. You know, I want to read the whole thing before I just go jump in on her. So I'm going to read the whole thing first. Rick Colombo said Dern and Rose would be interesting because I'm not sure Rose would avoid going to the ground. Yeah, Jason Rose, you know, we all know Dern should be at flyweight. Dern don't need to be at flyweight. If she's making, see, Jason Rose just want to disagree. She could go to flyweight, but she don't need to be at flyweight. I mean, as long as Mackenzie Dern continues to make weight and she ain't sick and she's not passing out and canceling fights based off of her not making weight, then no, she's fine at flyweight. I mean, you did say she should be, but you didn't say she needs to be. There's a difference, but no, I like her at 115. I mean, eventually she'll get there, but right now, as long as she's making the weight, that's fine. I want to see what she can do at 115 because, you know, that's kind of a waste now to try to jump up and just crush all that work he was doing. Colton said, I don't know if Dern is going to get through Rodriguez or Joanna. I think she could get through Rodriguez, but not Joanna. Robert said, the thing about Mackenzie Jiu-Jitsu is calm and patient, never rushes times. Yeah, like looking at her, just looking at her grappling matches and not her MMA matches, she's very, very calm, cool, collected, and flowing with it. Nabash said Mackenzie Dern is definitely the best grappler in the division. Yeah, but I think every fighter that is able to avoid getting subbed in the first round has a good chance of beating her. Yeah, or if she chooses to strike. When she chooses to strike and you're a better striker, then she's going to be in for a long night. Right. George said, I think the E-Boss fight might make her work on her stand-up. Yeah, that it did. Yeah, it made her. Yeah, it did make her work on her stand-up. Yeah, it did. Definitely. But yeah, going back to what I was saying, like her strengths in the game, I think, like I said, is her strength is willing to grow. You know, she wants to get better as a fighter. You know, you always see her working on something different. You know, she's never the same fighter. She is humble. You know, Mackenzie Dern is humble. She's not always talking trash. You know, she's not throwing sneak disses at anybody. And again, like I said, just having the babies kind of matured her a little bit more. You know, she's still having fun, but, you know, she's just kind of humble, low key. And I think she's the type of fighter that she's not ducking anybody. Like, I don't ever hear her saying, you know, it's up to this person, it's up to that person. It's always like, when it comes to Mackenzie Dern, whoever they put her in there with, that's what's that's what's going down. That's the next fight. You know, she's that type of fighter. You know, the fighters that put themselves out there and then, well, let me put it this way. The fighters that are vocal and they talk all this trash, but then when you ask them, well, who are you going to fight next? And they say, you got to talk to my manager. Or they say, whoever they put in front of me. Or they say, I fight like 7 more people before the title shot. Those are the type of people you gotta, those are the type of fighters you gotta stay on. But fighters like Suarez, Dern, Tisha Torres, who else? Randall Marcos, all them type of fighters like that, you know, I give them a pass for not calling names out because they're more quiet and they move in silence and they'll take on anybody, you know. So she's humble in that approach. Strength, last strength I definitely say is her improving in striking. I'm not saying it's the best. I'm going to talk about that here in a minute before y'all start. Her striking and her power is part of her strength. You know, she's willing to get better with it. She's starting to get the fundamentals down. But yeah, just her natural power is definitely a strength. You know, she came into the UFC with the power. That's why I was like, from the jump, she needs a striking coach. I was like, yo, she needs a striking coach right from the jump because this overhand right she's throwing, if you clean it up, if you clean this overhand right up, she's gonna be deadly. You know, if you learn how to throw this left hook, she's gonna be a problem. You know what I mean? You're gonna have a solid jiu-jitsu practitioner with power in both hands, throwing bombs, technical bombs. Shoot, you know. So she's got the right coach. She's got the right coach to get better as a fighter. Let's see. Now her weaknesses, even though it's a strength, is her striking. You know, I seen the improvements. You know, I definitely seen the improvements, but I definitely see a lot of flaws in there too, man. Like I see some flaws in the footwork. You know, letting punches go before she's in range, and you know, just making a beeline for your opponent. You know, she gets a little punch happy sometimes. You know, that's one of her weaknesses. You know, coming straight in. You know, not sticking to the balls on her feet, and you know, picking her shots a little bit more. She needs to kind of pick her shots a little bit more. Don't come straight in throwing yourself at the fighter. You know, that's how you get caught. That's how you get knocked out. But she throws that overhand right too. Like she still kind of ducks her head down, and I see her closing her eyes. Like that's something you really got to perfect before you get in there with these top 5 fighters. You know what I mean? Like when you start in top 3, excuse me. Like when you get in there with the elite strikers like Rose, Joanna, this is food for them. You come in there throwing with your eyes closed and your head down, that's food. You know, that's food for them. You know, that's basic stuff. So that's one of the strengths. I mean, that's one of the weaknesses she has. Like, I like the growth she's showing, but definitely got to show some more technical prowess in there with the how she picks her shots, her punch selection. You know what I mean. Another one I'd say is her wrestling. Wrestling's still not the best. That's why she need to take on somebody like Tisha Torres. You know, take somebody on like Tisha Torres. That's a good fight. Or train with Tisha. Something. You know, train with a fighter like Tisha. You know, Tisha's physically strong. She got that low center of gravity. She can teach her how to kind of throw her weight around. You know, working those when you get those underhooks, kind of work to put your weight on a fighter without exhausting yourself. You know, make them feel your weight, but you don't feel theirs. I think that, yeah, if she don't get a fight with Tisha Torres, I think Tisha would be a good fighter to spar with wrestling, you know, because the wrestling's going to be a big part for Mackenzie Dern. You know, you got to be able to get these fighters to the ground to be able to showcase that jiu-jitsu, you know. The lower level fighters, yeah, Amanda Bobby Cooper, you know, Randall Marcos, Nina Ansaroff on a layoff. Yeah, you can get them down to the ground with ease. You know what I mean? You can get them down to the ground with ease, right? Hang on one second. Just checking something. Okay. But when you start talking about, you know, fellow jiu-jitsu practitioner, brown belt, and Rose Namajunas. You start talking about fighters like that. Joanna, one of the physically strongest fighters with best technical striking, great takedown defense. You got to know how to wrestle. You got to know how to wrestle to get her down to the ground, because you ain't going to strike with it. You ain't going to win a striking match with Joanna, so you got to be a wrestler against Joanna. You got to get her to the ground, So those are a couple of things she has to work on. And I think that she has to get those things down before she can really, really be a dominant champion or get up there to that level or even have a big chance of winning. I mean, what do y'all think? All right, hold on. Before we move on here, let me check the chat here real quick. Let's see. Hang on, y'all. Let me check what y'all talking about here. Yeah, because right now, she falls right in that middle. So being right in the middle, that can be a hard place because you don't know. You might rush into something that you ain't ready for, or you could take it slow and fight one of these other fighters to just kind of work on stuff. But I don't know. Getting stuck in the middle is a hard place, though. Hard place to be. Let's see what y'all talking about. Hold on here real quick. I gotta go back and check y'all out. Let's see. Colton said, I don't know if Dern is going to get through. Okay, I read that. Nabas said Mackenzie Dern is definitely the best grappler in the division. Okay, I read that. Nabas said Ebos is the one who should be at flyweight. She really dwarfed Dern. Yeah, she has fought at flyweight. I mean, she fought one fight, against Paige Van Zandt. But yeah, she can do flyweight. She's already kind of, entertained it. So she could go back. Stamina, what's going on? Yeah, Breaker Squad. Oh, yeah, that's right. Let me put that up there. Robert here said JoJo always doing and saying the right thing. All right, Robert, leave JoJo alone now. Robert Henry, leave JoJo out of this. I ain't saying her name at all. Robot Chicken, she got Ben Askren footwork. It's getting better. Though. Jason Rose said Mackenzie Dern just got past Chandler Rowe. Her striking is still sloppy. It's gotten better. It's getting better. Let me put it that way. I think, like the weaknesses I named, like her getting too punch happy, you can clean that up. I think you gotta knock her down a few times in sparring. Yeah, let's talk about that real quick. Like, to get that sloppiness cleaned up, to get that person to look up at you and open their eyes when they're throwing an overhand right, you got to start dropping her in sparring. You got to start dropping her in sparring for real. Like, I know she's been working the hands and she's been working on the technical side, but yeah, you probably got to start knocking her down more. When you start letting her throw that overhand right with her eyes closed, you come up with an uppercut and drop her. You know what I mean? Like, you got to. I'm not trying to be funny. I mean, it sounds funny, but it sounds harsh, but it's a fight game. It's the fight game. So you got to make her feel pain in training so she doesn't face it in the actual fight, right? So, yeah, like, that's one of the things I say, man. Like, when she get into sparring, they need to be good getting that work on her. They be coming straight in and taking it to her, boxing the hell out of her. But I'd say she is getting a better grasp than some fighters. She is getting a better grasp than some fighters. What do y'all think? Like, for, somebody that came from the jiu-jitsu background, y'all can't lie. She is developing better than other fighters out there. She is, at least, she's definitely trying and making improvements. But yeah, that's the one thing I'll say. You definitely have to look up when you're throwing an overhand right. You can't close your eyes when you throw that overhand right like that. All right, so let's move on. Let's see, next question. This was a thought that popped in my head. Y'all were talking about it too. Like, how soon can she be fighting for a title right now? Like, how soon do y'all see her actually getting in there? Like, well, going back to what was it, Nabash? was it Nabosh said or Rick Colombo? I think it was Rick Colombo and Nabosh said it, but I think that how soon we see her kind of depends on how the UFC feels like they said about people just wanting to see her in there. It's not really going to be about taking the time to develop. It's going to be about how soon do the fans want to see her in there, like the casual fans want to see her. Like if the fans had their way, Paige Van Zandt would be fighting for a title, right? But they kind of caught on to that. They actually kind of caught on to it. So, but with somebody like Mackenzie Dern who does have better skill set now, I think that the UFC, they are probably going to try to push her faster. With let's see, Yan Xiaonan, Zhang Weili facing devastating, brutal losses. Then you got Joanna here playing diva right now, and who else? Marina Rodriguez not taking this fight. Everybody in this picture, y'all got everybody listed here in the top 6, 7. You got Rose Namajunas who's needing the fight. Logical answer for Rose right now is Carla. So in the meantime, Mackenzie Dern, she probably will be fighting a title eliminator soon. Let's be honest, like she might be. She might be fighting maybe September or August. Like if she can't get Marina Rodriguez in there, they'll probably go with Joanna next, right? It might be going with Joanna next. Stamina MC said, Combo makes a good point. It seemed to me like Pereo's student roster is kind of small these days. I wonder if Mackenzie is even getting the rounds in with sparring partners. Her size, weight, skill. When you create your own slogans, you get an opinion. Don't be remixing mine. Dang. Ooh. Throwing shots. He threw some shots. He was throwing shots. He said, don't be remixing mine. He said, you better get your, what was it Missy said? Copyright, don't copy me. Don't, Robert Henry, don't, yeah, he said, it's copywritten, so don't copy me. That's what she said, yeah. Over there remixing his, he said, nah, put a stamp on this. This is Combo Record 99 produced by Stamina MC. But going back to what you were saying, Stamina, yeah. I don't know, like, if the roster's big, because I don't really see her posting pictures of her really taking damage. Like, I've never really seen her with black eyes. Like you've seen Rose with the black eye. You've seen Andrade with the black eye, Valentina. You see them scuffed up, like, it lets you know they've been in there with some hard sparring partners. I haven't really seen Mackenzie Dern coming out looking, bashed up or like she's been really boxed. So I know he wants to clean that up, but yeah, I think from what we're seeing that they might need to throw in some better sparring partners though to really do damage on her. Like I said, not try to kill her. He ain't trying to knock her teeth out or put stitches on her, but at least like wake her up. That's the purpose of sparring. Sparring is to wake you up. You want to make that person say, if this is what it feels like in the gym, it's going to be 10 times worse in sparring. I mean, it's going to be 10 times worse in a fight. That's the whole purpose of it. Like I said, make the person feel it in sparring, because feel it in sparring, you're going to say, if it feels this bad in sparring, it's going to be 10 times worse in a fight. Right? It's going to be 10 times worse in a fight. So, yeah. Like I said, soon, I think it'd be soon, man. Like, she might be fighting towards the title maybe by the end of this year. Like, maybe an eliminator, and then we might see her possibly, in 2022. All right, so here's a big one, though, man. This is what I was thinking about today. I was thinking about this today. My next segment here about Mackenzie Dern is where she stands right now at number 6. Who is tailor-made for Mackenzie Dern's style, and who is she tailor-made for? I know that might sound a little mixed up for y'all, but y'all know what I mean. who is tailor-made for Mackenzie Dern's style, and who is she tailor-made for? You know, who's a good matchup for her to get to the title, and who's a bad matchup? Who's a style nightmare for her? Who's tailor-made for her, and who is a style nightmare for her? That could be a roadblock. I mean, before I look at y'all answer, I'll tell you right now, like, I think the styles right now out of these 7 fighters on the screen that would get her to the title, that would probably be the easiest road for her. Let me move this out the way. All right, there we go. So for Mackenzie Dern right now, the styles that would, because, you know, it's still a business and it's still chess. Like, you don't want to wreck your chances of getting to a title shot, right? Like, people try to give Carla Esparza, so, you know, a lot of guff about not taking on Amanda Ebas. But it's still like a certain path you have to take. As long as you fight in the top 10 fighters and you're winning, there's still a certain path you have to take that'll get you there. And you have to kind of find fighters that are tailor-made for you sometimes. I mean, that's not how I make the rules. Like, I like seeing everybody fight. I like seeing different styles get together. But let's just kind of look at this and say, okay, Mackenzie Dern is already at number 6, right? What path does she need to take to get the Rose, though? Let's be honest. Like, who's tailor-made for her? Well, let's see. Going down the list, tailor-made for her style, you know, for that power that she packs, for the ground, jiu-jitsu. What does she rank right now? Let's see. Let's say if they want to throw Yan Xiaonan in there. She's in the top 5, right? So I'm going to go ahead and throw her in there. I know she's coming off the Carla loss. She's 100% tailor-made for her. I mean, what we saw Carla do, Mackenzie Dern, all she got to do is rush in, take her to the ground, boom, takes out the number 4 fighter, right? Enough said. Mackenzie Dern has enough power to hurt Yan Xiaonan. She has enough of the fundamentals, I think, to close in, and enough strength to close in and do exactly what Carla did. You know, it'd be like rinse and repeat thing. You know, I think Mackenzie Dern just says, okay, I'm much bigger. I'll take this fight to the ground. Boom. I can submit her just like that. You know, this girl has no ground game at all, right? So that's pretty much easy fight. I mean, I know y'all are going to say, oh, they probably won't give that fight to Young, but I'm talking about everybody in the top 5 that's above her. That's a fight that's tailor-made for her. The next one I would say, I know y'all would probably think I'm crazy. Next one I'd probably say is Carla Esparza. You know, I think Carla would put up a better fight, of course, but when it comes down to physically strong fighters and fighters that can really ragdoll you, and with Mackenzie Dern developing her strength, I think Mackenzie Dern will either let Carla get the fight to the ground or she'll get Carla to the ground. If she gets down to the ground, again, jiu-jitsu classes in session. You know, I think Carla might get a little sloppy in there in the guard sometimes. I mean, she did well against Verna Jandiroba, so it's hard to say. But I can see Mackenzie Dern faring well over Carla Esparza than she would like any of these stand-up fighters, right? So those two right there, I feel like Mackenzie Dern could get out the way to get to a title shot. And the next one I'll definitely say would probably be a style. This probably be explosive. Zhang Wei Li. Mackenzie Dern versus Zhang Wei Li. That would be crazy. We'd have to see. We'd be seeing where Zhang Wei Li is after a knockout loss to Rose. We'd see what type of style, that approach she would take against, Mackenzie Dern. Would she be gun shy, or would she still be a little reckless, feeling like Mackenzie Dern's strike is not on point and get caught by overhand right? We don't know. Mackenzie Dern just go straight in and dogfight. I don't know, because Zhang Wei Li, I think, is physically stronger than Mackenzie Dern. She is that dog. She still is that pressure fighter. I mean, on paper, I don't know how she feels right now after the Rose fight, but I think that Zhang Wei Li is still that physical strong specimen that she is. That's her style. So it would be interested on the inside. It'd be interested like in the dog fight on the feet, in the clinch. But when it goes to the ground, I think, again, Zhang Weili might get a little reckless. I've seen her reckless in the guard before, and that's just a setup for an armbar, easy armbar for Mackenzie Dern. Because that's what Mackenzie Dern is going to be looking for. Like, y'all just don't know. When she hits the ground, she's looking for open limbs. Like, she's looking for limbs in a position where she can just say, boom, high guard, let me get my guard up here and get this leg over your face, boom, you know. So that's probably another fight that I would say is winnable. Like, yeah, I would say so, definitely. Going back to the stand-up thing though, oh man, let's talk about. So those are the fighters I feel like would be tailor-made for her, you know, where she can capitalize on recklessness and she can capitalize on fighters with no ground game, right? No ground game. So let's talk about fighters that she's tailor-made for. Fighters that, you know, they can just go in and handle her. Let me check out what y'all talking about in the chat. Hold on. Let me go back up here. George said ABC is out. Yeah, ABC had her baby now. She might be out for a while. Robert Henry said Tyson Fury thinks that the purpose of sparring is knocking his sparring partner out. Oh boy. Jason Rose said bad and good for Joanna. Yeah, Rodriguez. Yeah, we're going to talk about that. Lolita, what's going on? Lolita said, just came in reading comments, but Dern striking against Ansaroff was way better than when she fought Jandiroba. How would Dern do against Carla? Oh, yeah. I was just talking about it, so you probably heard it. Robert said, stop picking on Jan. Oh, boy. Stop picking on Jan. She did it to herself, Robert. Stamina said, I like Mackenzie Carla as a pairing. Actually, Carla is faster, but Mackenzie's stronger. Yeah, she's stronger. And I think that'll be a big part, like, where would Carla want to strike with her? I don't know. Like, Carla's got a nice right hand, too. Carla does have a nice right hand. Yeah, Jason, like, I could see it being 50-50 at some point, but come on. Like, when you pair Dern versus Carla, you got to say her chances are better than they are versus Joanna. That was my point. When I'm comparing it to those fights, her style is more so suited for Mackenzie Dern. Like, if I had to put Mackenzie Dern in the title eliminator, like if her next fight was going to be a title eliminator, I would say Mackenzie Dern, you fighting Carla Esparza next. You know? Yeah, it might come down to 50-50 when you look at it technically, but I think I would put her in there with Carla before I would Joanna. You know? That's what I'm comparing it to. Robot Chicken said Young got exposed. Yeah, 0 ground game, y'all. Yeah. Marcus Bell in the house. He tardy for the party, but George said Tisha should fight Angela Hill. Yeah, wait a minute. Is that a rematch or that's actually a rubber match? Yeah, that would be a third time. I don't know. I want to see Angela Hill and Ebos. No, let's mix that up, George. I like Ebos versus Angela Hill, and let's do Lupe Benitez versus Tisha Torres. Yeah, that would be better because they already fought like twice. So, and Tisha Torres won both of them fights. Stamina said Weili in brawler mode should come out on top if she stays standing, but her recklessness could cost her. Lolita said, "I heard you." Okay. Dern's wrestling isn't that good. She would have to get Weili to the ground. That won't be easy for Dern. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, that's what I was talking about earlier. I don't know if you heard me, Jason, but yeah, like when I was talking about weaknesses, her wrestling is a big weakness. You know, that's a big weakness. That's her weakness and part of her striking. Her striking is like 1 foot strength and 1 foot weakness. Like she's got both feet in both categories. Like she's good at striking, but at the same time she ain't that good. You know what I mean? Like It's effective at some points, but sometimes it's not. But yeah, her wrestling, yeah, that's definitely one of her weaknesses, man. Wei Lee is pretty good. Well, I think her wrestling is good. I think Wei Lee's wrestling is decent. But when I saw what Tisha Torres was doing, like I was like, yo, Tisha's actually holding her own in this fight. Jason says, I don't think Dern takes Esparza down. I think she could. But I'd say the major part where it would go to the ground would be if Dern lands a big right hand. Like, I think Dern does have enough. I think she does have enough fundamentals to say, let me close in and set up my overhand right. I think she will against Carla Esparza. Yeah, stamina. Yeah, I agree with that too. Stamina, like that was George's picks, but if I had to pick, I would say Tisha versus Lupi and Angela Hill versus Ebos. But yeah, Tisha definitely deserves better because yeah, Tisha's kind of been taking the back seat as of lately. I want Mackenzie Dern versus Tisha actually, but yeah, I know she does. She definitely deserves more. All right, but back real quick. Let's go back and talk about this. So, bad style matchups, fighters that she's tailor made for. I think the number one here we can say is Joanna, hands down, 100%. Joanna, even off a layoff, I feel like Joanna is a style nightmare for Mackenzie Dern. I think that Mackenzie Dern is tailor made for her. Joanna's been doing this striking thing. She's been doing this boxing thing for years now. She wins 5-round fights against the most dangerous fighters. She's gone 5-round fights with the most dangerous fighters, whether she's won or lost. Valentina Shevchenko couldn't stop her. She could take her to the ground, but she couldn't stop her. Jessica Andrade, of course, Jessica Andrade is not really a technically sound fighter, but still dangerous all day long. But she went 5 rounds comfortably with her. I think Joanna is just a bad style for her to get to the title because it's going to expose a lot, if you will. You know what I mean? And I think that's just going to be part of the game. I mean, yeah, it will expose a lot because who really is as good as striking? Who really is as good a striker besides Rose Namajunas in this top 7 right here, right? But if you wanted to get to the title, I would not put her in there because, Joanna, all day long, jab. That's what it's going to be. Joanna, in that jab, in that combination striking, in her face all night, just in combination with leg kicks, it would just be a straight striking clinic all the way. I don't think Jason Perillo has enough in his, well, Jason Perillo, yeah, he's a great striker and coach all day long, but you can only do so much with a student that's never really strike before, right? So I think Joanna, man, like, there's nothing you can do to really prepare her for that. There's nothing you can really do to prepare for Dern for that fight. So that'd be a bad title eliminator. I'd say the one that we're going to miss out on for right now, which I'll talk about in another video, is this Marina Rodriguez fight. I think her chances are better in the Marina Rodriguez fight. Dern has a better chance than Marina Rodriguez. Yeah, she's a stand-up fighter. Yeah, she has power. But, Joanna, going back up to Joanna has great takedown defense. She's strong as hell, physically strong. Great clinch fighter. The minute Mackenzie Dern tries to get into a clinch, she's going to be eating knees to the body. Joanna's going to be switching levels. She's a volume puncher. Marina Rodriguez, I think she's more of a single hitter. She can throw combinations, but she doesn't really have a good jab like Joanna. Mackenzie is really, I'd say she's open target for a jab. So Mackenzie Dern, if you don't have a jab, she will disrespect and she will come inside. So I think that Marina Rodriguez, if she had more of a jab, she's got a great right hand, but if she had more of a jab, it would be I'd start putting the fight more in the category with the Joanna fight. But right now, I think that Dern versus Rodriguez would be a hell of a lot more competitive than people think, But at the same time, with zero ground game and minus the physical strength of Joanna, I think that Dern, she eventually would get the fight to the ground. And as soon as it goes to the ground, we know what's going to happen. We know what's going to happen. Calvillo had the success on the ground. Carlos Esparza had the success on the ground. All these fighters have the success on the ground when it comes to fight Marina Rodriguez. Michelle Waterson did. You know what I mean? So Dern, her chances would be better in a fight with Rodriguez and Joanna. Joanna's probably the worst out of all these fighters. Honestly, man, I could see Dern pulling off wins against everybody up here, even Rose Namajunas. I mean, what do y'all think? I think Mackenzie Dern could beat everybody in this picture except Joanna. And it just comes down to bad style matchups, It just comes down to specific type of fighters and, clash of styles. I actually think that Dern could get a win over everybody up here. Won't be easy, I'm saying, but I think she has the ability to do that with, growth in her strength and, her ground game against these fighters right here, with weak ground games. But Joanna just seems like the one that just seems too well put together. And she just has fun with these type of fighters. All right, let me check the comment section here real quick. Let me see. Cole said, I think Marina would rock Dern on the feet. Marina would rock Dern on the feet. Yeah, she would. She could. Gordon Morris, what's going on? Gordon Morris said, as good as Rodriguez is at striking, each time she engaged with Waterson fought back. Rodriguez got tagged enough to disengage and reset. Smaller Michelle held her own. Oh, yeah, most definitely. I mean, 5 rounds? Shoot. And she was hurting Rodriguez to the body. Y'all remember, Rodriguez got tagged in the body in the 5th round. I'm saying a little girl like that was able to hurt her. We don't know what Dern could do, right? When Dern goes to the midsection, shoot. Yeah, I remember that, yeah. Dern beats the Cookie Monster. Ernest said Dern beats the Cookie Monster. Lolita Tisha can become a trainer when she retires. Yeah, she's doing some, she's out there doing some things. I mean, she's been working with Andrea Lee a little bit. Lolita Dern beats Carla. Robot Chicken said, oh, we talking about her hair. Lolita said dreads like Clarissa Shields. You can buy the Clarissa Shields dreads. I like Clarissa more without that fake hair. She's really toning up. Robertson Marina should follow. Marina following after her Polish better half. Joanna turning down fights with me. I'm turning down fights. And, she can't be turning down fights. She ain't in no way in the same boat as Joanna. And I give Joanna crap all day for turning down fights, right? I mean, I'm not really giving her crap. I'm just giving her facts. I'm just putting out the facts. I don't want to see her in a title shot. Whereas Marina Rodriguez, I want to see her fight for a title shot, right? Stand by. Am I getting in a circle again? You can't hear me? I ain't had no issues on this end. I thought everybody could hear me. I mean, you the first one that said they couldn't hear me, I think. Hold on. Let me see if I'm coming through here. Yeah, I think you are the only one, Stamina. Oh, that's what you're saying. You got it, right. But you got the third world internet tonight. Is that what you're saying? Because, I haven't heard anybody say anything. I actually can hear myself. Yeah, I figured it was you. Okay. Yeah, because I haven't got the little circle tonight, so I figured we've been rocking. We've been rocking and rolling because I ain't seen the little circle on my end, so yeah. Okay. I got you. I was about to get nervous. I said, "Oh snap, we are messed up tonight. Come on." But yeah. So good. Like I said, good matchups. Like if you really want to get to the title shot, I would say where she stands at number 6. Um, I ain't gonna do that to Carla though, man, because Carla needs her shot with Rose Namajunas, right? Let's put Rose in there, Rose and Carla next. So we gonna put her to the side. Um, let's go ahead and do. We gotta talk this fight up because, like I said, I'm talking Rose versus Carla. Mackenzie versus Marina need to happen before the end of the summer, man. Like if Marina pushes it back, like if she doesn't want to fight in July, but maybe like August or September, I'll give her that. Like that's the fight she needs to get to a title shot. So let's say Mackenzie Dern can either fight Wei Lee or Marina Rodriguez. Those are two fighters I would match her up to get to a title shot. Get Rodriguez out of there and maybe fight Wei Lee because I don't know what Joanna's trying to do right now. She's just chilling. She's just chilling to the side. So that's a fight we don't have to worry about. I don't think they would give Dern Yan Xiaonan after that brutal loss she faced. And she might be out 6 months. I don't know. Is she going to be suspended, y'all? And she thinks she might be out for a 6-month suspension. I know she's got the stitches, she's got the cut on the forehead, so I don't know. But let's say, all right, we're getting closer to the end here. The boss said I picked Dern against Xiaonan, definitely. And Sparza. Yeah, that'd be a good fight, though. Fights against Rose, Wei Lee, and Rodriguez are hard to predict. Don't see her beating Joanna at all. Oh, no. I don't either. Gordon Morris said, what do you think about Michelle's split decision loss to Esparza? What's next for Michelle Yan Xiaonan? Could be great. The split decision loss to Esparza, I feel like Esparza did enough to win that fight. I mean, I go back and watch it again. There's some moments in there I thought Michelle did have her, she was able to have her moments, but I think Esparza, she's just one of those fighters, like, unless you don't have that physical strength to ragdoll her, she's going to go in there and land, and she will take you to the ground. For Michelle Waterson, what's next for her? I think going back to 115 and let's see, Michelle Waterson could fight. Let's see. Where's Michelle Waterson versus Nina Ansaroff or versus Claudia Gadelha? That would be good. Yeah, either of those fights would be good. Lemos versus Ruiz. Yeah, that's going to be a good fight. Yeah, Jason. Lemos versus Ruiz, that's going to be good. I'm going with Lemos in that fight. I feel like her striking is on point. I think Ruiz's style is tailor-made for her. I think her coming inside like that rough and rugged style is a good, it just spells, a recipe for knockout. Same way Lemos was laying right hands on Souza. Yeah. Mr. Lee said Dana White needs to start a channel so we can tell him what to do. He'll probably block everybody. He ain't gonna listen. He gonna block everybody. He gonna report you and block you. Okay, so last part here. Let's say Mackenzie Dern does get past, let's say she gets past Rodriguez. She beats Weili Zhang. She gets those two fighters out of the way. How would she do against Rose Namajunas? How good are her chances against Rose Namajunas? I've been thinking about that, man. I was like, what if she did beat Zhang Weili if she had to fight her in the title eliminator? Let's say we're going to play this thing out. We're going to move forward. Rose beats Carla in her rematch, and Mackenzie Dern beats Zhang Weili. So Mackenzie Dern is next in line for that title shot. How would that fight go? Like, what are her chances of beating Rose? it'd be an interesting fight. I don't see I don't see Mackenzie Dern definitely not staying on the out. I definitely see Mackenzie Dern like not staying on the outside and getting picked apart like that. Like I I don't see her getting knocked out. First off, I don't see her getting knocked out in the first round by Rose. Um, I see her maybe respecting staying out of range early on, but eventually I think that she will try her best to get on the inside and try to make it a good inside fight. She's gonna want to utilize strength in a fight with Rose Namajunas. You know, but when you talk about these strikers, I think that Rose Namajunas and just her overall in and out footwork would just be a nightmare as well for Mackenzie Dern. Like let me say partial nightmare, because like I really don't see Mackenzie Dern having a chance at all against Joanna just because of the type of fighter she is and how Joanna handles grapplers. But I think Rose, she can kind of you can lure Rose into your fight, if you will. I think Rose Namajunas is never she's never somebody she's a fighter that never really sticks to her game plan completely in a fight. Rose does have some great tools that could just shut fighters down, but I think she abandons them sometimes. Perfect example. First Jessica Andrade fight and the second Andrade fight. Like the second Andrade fight, Rose abandoned the jab. She abandoned the boxing from the outside. All you had to do is do that for 3 rounds. But Rose chose to fight in the phone booth. You know what I mean? She chose to fight in the phone booth. Almost got knocked out. So that's why you got to say I like those chances for Mackenzie Dern. Like if Mackenzie Dern can lure her into her fight, that's what it's all going to come down to. Disagree or agree with me on that, but that's how I feel. Like Rose, you can take out of her comfort. You can take her out of her comfort zone a little bit better than Joanna. Joanna may stick to her game plan, and yeah, you can figure it out here and there, like if you are that elite fighter like Rose or Valentina Shevchenko. But when it comes down to some fighters who just aren't in it mentally for the long haul, you can take them out of their game. Mackenzie Dern probably could take Rose out of her game here and there. Carolina was able to. Tisha Torres was able to, right? Second fight, I still think Tisha Torres won that second fight with Rose Namajunas. When you really initiate something that she doesn't like, it'll kind of break her focus. You know what I mean? Like you start to hit her with something, like you start tagging her lead leg. She might start. You wake up something in Rose. You wake up something where she wants to go toe to toe with you. Or she'll just kind of lose her focus and she'll just start going through the motions, It was seen. It was seen again, There's a lot of evidence of that. That's why I think if Mackenzie Dern is ready for that fight, in a couple fights, it's going to come down to her utilizing her strength, making Rose try to go clinch for clinch with her, and taking the fight to the ground. And making Rose want to say, I think my jiu-jitsu is just as good as yours. Let's test out my jiu-jitsu against yours, Mackenzie. Let's see if she can do that. And that might be the mistake that she could draw Rose Namajunas into. See, she won't do that to Joanna. Of course, like I said, styles make fights. Joanna's going to say, no, I'm standing up all day. I'm going to stay on the outside all day. You're going to eat my jab all day. Where Rose, she could do what Joanna does, but again, you can draw her into your fight every now and then. Ask Jessica. Ask Carolina. Ask Joanna in the second fight. Joanna was starting to land on Rose Namajunas in the second fight. Why? Because she stopped moving around. She stopped moving on her feet. She stopped boxing from the outside. She started standing still. Yeah. So, yeah, man. So, yeah, that's what I think, man. I think it would be an interesting fight, Rose Namajunas versus Mackenzie Dern. I think Mackenzie, like I said, she's been coming a long way, but that fight with Rose or the Rose Carl the winner, we can't even look at that yet because we still got to see what Dern does with whoever she's matched up against as far as, these top fighters that are over her, All right, one more thing. All right. What if Mackenzie Dern did win the title? Do you see her being a defending champion? What do y'all think? Do y'all see her being a defending champion? Mackenzie Dern wins the strap. Let's say she does beat Rose. Does she become a defending champion? Do you see her defending that belt at least twice? I'm going to be nice because nobody after Joanna is defending that belt twice, right? I know everybody's been knocked out everybody's lost the belt by knockout or stoppage, but nobody after Joanna's defending that belt twice, right? Is Dern a consistent champion? Do you see consistency in her? Do you see her style being able to hold it down and beat 5 fighters in a row or maybe 2? What do y'all think? All right, let me check the chat here. Y'all talking. Hold on. Let's see. Lolita said Lemos dominates Ruiz. Yeah. Let's go back up here. Okay, Stamina said Rose in her distance management would run rings around. I said fingers. Run rings around Mackenzie, I feel. It's possible. It's possible. But, and she can do that. She could do that for 5 rounds if she got the focus. It's definitely possible. But let's say she wanted to go on that inside and she wanted to take it to the ground. You know what I mean? Robert Henry said White going 1 hour, put up 1 hour long videos while we finally put out a YouTube channel, but the comments will stay disabled 24/7. I could see that. Yeah, he'll put up like a YouTube channel. He won't even have to block people. He's just going to disable the comment section. Nabash said Ruiz is so damn reckless when she closes this. I can see Lemos actually sparking. I'm telling you, man. I told you. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, Marcus, Joanna's all bad for Dern. Like, that's why I say I like her chances with any other fighter on this screen except Joanna. Yeah. Gordon Morris, do you think Felice might get one more chance against any of the higher ranked fighters that lost? Like maybe the UFC will feed her to Jan, Marina, figure, and she'll lose. I think they'll feed her to some of the unranked fighters, some of the ones that just came in. Like Gordon, I think they might feed her to somebody like Corey McKenna or Kay Hansen. Corey McKenna, Kay Hansen, maybe Lupe Benitez. I could see her going in there with one of those fighters. And if she loses to one of them fighters, then I think we could probably say she's out of there. Montserrat Ruiz spams with headlocks. It's insane. Yeah, I think that headlock won't work on Lemos. I think she just did that to Bays because, Cheyenne Bays said they weren't going to fall into that headlock. But, man, she locked her in that headlock like 5 times, man. Yeah, Gordon. Gordon, I ain't forget either, man. I'm gonna do that response video for you about Valentina versus Andrea Lee. I just don't think she's ready for it, Gordon. I'm gonna bring that up now since you in here, cause I don't want to see that fight, man. I'm gonna do that just for you, Gordon. I'm gonna do that video when I get a chance, just for you. Valentina versus Andrea Lee. I don't want it, and I'll tell you why. All right, Colton said, no way is she a defending champion. Okay, Colton says she's not a defending champion. All right. Gordon said, not Marina, I meant Mallory Martin as potential Felice matchup. Yeah, Mallory Martin, I can see that. You're right. Yeah, I can see Mallory Martin. Stamina said, big fat nope. If Dern wins, she doesn't keep it up. Robot Chicken said, if Dern can tighten up the striking. Robert Henry said, no. Dang, y'all ain't got no faith in her. how is Mackenzie Dern going to win the title? The UFC would have to do some home cooking. Yeah, you aren't listening. Yeah, Jason, I was talking about that earlier. You were listening. That's why I said you got to make some home cooking moves to get a person there. You got to get it. You got to make some home cooking moves. Because like I said, Jason, if you put her in there with Joanna, it's over. But there is a path to get to Rose Namajunas. There is a path there. There is a path. Like, if Dana does something stupid and doesn't give Carla that rematch with Rose, if he makes Dern versus Carla, Dern could easily win that fight, and boom, that's hers. Or he could let Carla and Rose fight, and in the meantime make Dern fight Joanna, which would be a bad idea. Or he could put her in there with Yan Xiaonan and call that a title eliminator, which UFC, they've done crazy things before, right? So he could do that, and then boom, she's next in line. So there are going to be some not even home cooking as far as the judges. We ain't even going to go there yet, but like, there's going to be certain moves, like I said, that's a common practice. That's a common practice in the fight game. I mean, you are going to kind of match them up with fighters that they're going to win. They can beat, have good chances against to get them to their title shot. Marcus said Valentina is too much of a big step for Andrea Lee. Not according to Gordon. I just messaged Gordon, said he just want my breakdown on it. Okay. All right. Yeah, like I said, I'll do that. Yeah, I'll do that on how I think it would go. Yeah. I mean, everybody has their picks. Like I said, everybody got their matchups. I want to see Valentina versus GDR. So people don't like that fight, and people probably think it won't happen. But yeah, I can respect your pick, Gordon. I mean, you think the style matchup might be good? We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. Gordon said, did you watch Paulie G's video on Val versus Andrea? It's fun. I haven't. I don't even know who that is, really, Paulie G. You mentioned it the other day in the comment section. I mean, I can type Paulie G in, of course, but I never watched his videos before. I'll check it out, though. Or you can just send me a link. Yeah, send me a link to it, Gordon. I don't have to dig through his videos. I mean, I never watched any of his videos before. So yeah, man. I agree with most of y'all. I agree with all of y'all that said no. I think Mackenzie Dern, I don't see her being the defending champion either. Just for the fact that I think the position she's in right now, she's still developing as a fighter, and I think to be a defending champion, you have to have consistency, and you have to have you've got to have more than one strong point. Like, you just can't be developing as a fighter. You've got to be strong in several different areas. Like, I agree with you, Marcus, now, like, about Joanna. Look, Marcus, shout out to Marcus. Look, I give you credit here, man. Like, I almost slipped. I almost called Joanna a one-dimensional fighter, but Joanna is not one-dimensional. Joanna sticks to her striking, and that's her thing, but she has other levels to her to where she can commit to that. She's definitely got more than enough levels to make her more so well-rounded, but at the same time, she can still do her bread and butter, which is her striking. So yeah, definitely not one-dimensional. But I think Mackenzie Dern, she's developing in these other categories right now, other disciplines. So it's not enough to carry her to defend titles. It's not enough to carry her to defend against some of these other fighters. That's why I'm saying, like, you got to kind of play matchmaker right now to get her there, which, yeah, she could go in there, upset Rose, and boom, she's got it, right? But the minute you go in there with Joanna, you got to be, see, when you defend the title, you got to be prepared for everybody, right? I mean, that's how it's supposed to be, right? I think the path to the title can be easier. They can make certain moves for you. So Mackenzie Dern getting to the title, that would be easy, right? It could be easy. But defending the title is a different story because you can't really pick and choose anymore, right? You can't really pick and choose anymore because whoever the number 2 fighter is or the number 1 fighter is, that's who you fight. Whoever's right under you, that number 1, number 2, that's who you fighting next, right? That's who you're going to be fighting next. So let that be your honor, be number 1, and they finally give her that title shot. You might as well say, nah, she's not a defending champion anymore. And I'm not laughing, like making fun of her. I'm just saying, yeah, like it's funny how that falls into place. Like that's why they say it's an easier road to the title and getting the title, but it's a harder road to defend the title. You know what I mean? Because when you defend the title, it doesn't matter who it is. You got to fight them. You got to fight them. That's why you got to give a lot of credit to Kamaru Usman. He's growing as a fighter. He's preparing for every type of style. Because when you become champion, yeah, you got to fight everybody at that point. So, yeah, I can agree with y'all on that. Like, Mackenzie Dern is developing enough to get there. Play your card, play out the right pieces. Boom, you there. But when it comes to defending, that's a different story, man. Styles. What else y'all got here? Gordon Morris, I know it's a big challenge. Just want to break down. I haven't picked Andrea to win. Just said I'm confident Andrea will give Valentina combat. Okay, yeah, okay. I got you. Yeah, I figured that. Like, you feel like she can give her a tough fight. Maybe you feel like the style can match up. I can respect that. Yeah, I'll talk about that. Like, I've seen a lot of Andrea. That's what I'm telling you. Like, I didn't mention to you. I've seen majority of Andrea Lee's fights. I got some of her fights like from the Invicta days. Burnt to DVD. Like Andrea Lee, I've seen pretty much all her fights and her growth as a fighter. That's why I say what I say about her, because I've seen Andrea Lee's fights from where she was first starting out up to now. You know what I mean? That's why I feel like I can say certain things about why it wouldn't work, but I mean I can match them up though. Like with Valentina, yeah, I can tell you how it might go. Stamina said his videos are pretty bad. I'll be surprised if you find any value in them at all. Yeah, I've never watched them before. Never have. Like I heard the name because Gordon brought him up, and I started thinking of the boxer Paulie Malignaggi. That's why I was like, oh, Paulie Malignaggi. I was like, I don't want to hear that. I was like, I don't want to watch that. That's what I was kind of thinking of when I heard Paulie G. Then I thought of somebody like from Jersey Shore. Paulie G, is it a Jersey Shore guy or something? Or is it an act? I don't know. I'll just check it out. Sound like a Jersey Shore character. If y'all remember that show. I don't know. Yeah, Marcus. JJ has something that most strikers struggle with, and that's takedown defense. Exactly. Yeah, like as much as I was putting that together, I almost said she was as much as I'm one of the fighters that give her a lot of credit for takedown defense, I must have been in a mood because I almost called JJ a one-dimensional fighter. I must have been in a mood about her or something, man. But, like, I'm always giving her credit for being, like, that fighter with, more than one attribute about her that's kind of complements her overall style. You know what I mean? I was probably in the mood about Joanna. I was probably like, Joanna pissing me off or asking for a title shot, knowing she don't deserve it. The boss said Valentina versus GDR would be interesting, but to be honest, I don't want to see it. GDR is so much bigger. It's a little unfair. I wouldn't say it was unfair. Like, I think it's a challenge. I wouldn't say it's unfair because, Juliana Pena, she did fight her and she almost won. Valentina was at bantamweight, she was at bantamweight first. So I try to play that game and say, oh, it's not fair because of the size, but you were in that division. It'd be a good fight. It's not like GDR versus I'm blanking out. Carlos Esparza versus GDR. It's not like that. You know what I mean? Now that's unfair. Carlos Esparza versus GDR, that would be crazy. Or like Megan Anderson versus Alicia Zapatella. That would be crazy. Y'all want to see a mismatch? This would be a mismatch. Hold on. I mean, y'all seen this picture. I put it up before, so. Hold on. I'm just staying on here for a little bit. I ain't got nowhere to go right now. Yeah, I don't see GDR being a mismatch with Valentina at all. I mean, you know, because Nunes, she fought both, and they were in that division, so. Okay, so Joanna's sense of balance is phenomenal too. Human, gyroscope in there. Yeah, her balance is beautiful, man. Like, I love a fighter that has great, balance. Like that athleticism. It's just like when you shove them or you try to take them down and they can scramble and like get right back to the feet. Like, she knows her weight. Like, she knows her body. That's like one of the most important things about being not just a fighter, but like being a boxer and a striker. You know, you got to know your body, like where it can turn, which way it can twist, how to get back to your feet. You know, these awkward positions. And at ATT, she works on that. You know, at ATT, she actually, they perfect that. She works on that day and night, right? Yeah, this is the picture I was talking about. Like I said, this would be a mismatch. Like, this is something I consider a mismatch in MMA anyway. Her balance is great. Woodley versus Paul, man. I would hope Woodley would win. If you're talking about one of them Jake Paul or whatever his name is, yeah, I would hope Woodley would win. Robert Henry said Joanna is a one-way fighter, one-way fighting style that sticks to her strength, striking and takedown defense. Gordon Moore said most of Val's opponents have been one-dimensional, not notable as well-rounded in all aspects of MMA, unlike Andrea. Look, Gordon, if you heard some of my videos, like, the thing about Andrea Lee that keeps her from being well-rounded is her execution and her IQ. Like, when I broke down some of these fights I talked about, I said, look, girl's got a good jab, got decent hands, good ground game. You know, that's why I always say her jiu-jitsu is underrated. But it's like her execution. Like, I picked Andrea Lee. I thought Andrea Lee would beat Roxanne Modaffar in the rematch. You know, I thought she would have won that fight. But she ain't execute. You know, she didn't execute. Like, she had the skill set to beat her, but she didn't put everything together. That's why I was like, that's what's holding her back from being a well-rounded fighter. Like, her IQ. Like, she does have some of these things that some of these opponents that Valentina's fought don't have. You know, like, Andrea Lee does have more pop and better balance, and I think commits to her shots more than Caitlin Chikagan does. But Caitlin is smarter because she commits to her fighting. You know, she commits to her style. Even though her style was nothing for Valentina, you know what I mean? She's still committed. That's why she beats other fighters. Andrea Lee's a gatekeeper of the top 15. Yeah, she's turning into that. Robot Chicken said, I think he'll do better than Askren. I got Paul, though. Dang, Robot Chicken said, Woodley is nothing. Yeah, Woodley's not really a striker or a boxer, so I don't know, man. I just don't. I don't want to see these guys continue to get beat down by YouTubers, man. Let me put on about 50 pounds. I take what's his name, Paul to school, man. Gordon Morris, Paulie G doesn't do an analysis, breakdown, projection. He just presents a review comparison, sort of. Oh, okay. Carla versus Tatiana 2 is unfair. We ain't even gonna have that fight. I'm not even calling for that fight because you know what Tatiana's gonna do. I'm gonna leave it at that. Tatiana, you know what she gonna do. GDR with KO Valentina. I don't know. It'd be good though. Good fight. Yeah, but that was what I was saying. That this was a mismatch. Yeah, Mr. Lee. Yeah, Alicia Zapatella's only like 4'11". Robot Chicken said Andrea Lee is mid tier at best. Before I match Andrea Lee up with Valentina, I would like to see Andrea Lee versus Viviana Araujo now. That would be a good fight. Or I'd like to see Andrea Lee versus Alexa Grasso. You know, scratch that Grasso Caitlin Chikagan fight. Let Andrea Lee and Alexa Grasso do this thing. You know, if we want to see how good Andrea Lee put everything together, you know. High Five said Dern improves her striking now. She is at E-Boss level, but probably a better chin. Probably, yeah. I think she might be at E-Boss's level now. And she might have a little something better. She might have a little bit more to her game. I think she's definitely a harder hitter. You know, I think she's a little bit more committed. Jason Rosa Zapatella would Amari roll and submit Mickey Anderson if she could get past her right hand. The Bosch Woodley is so old and one-dimensional that he would actually lose to Jake Paul. Sadly. High Five said Marina is champ material. She will be another Joanna in the division after Joanna retires. That's a bold statement right there. I don't know, man. I think Marina Rodriguez with better takedown defense and better ground game, she could be that. You know, I think Marina Rodriguez got to work on the takedown defense before, you know, she's that Joanna level. In a better jab. And a better jab as well. Marcus Bell said GDR might still have issues with getting off the back. Therefore, GDR KO on Valentina's far-fetched. Yeah, KOs don't come easy, man. Like, I never seen like this easy like KO like GDR. GDR is not going to do Valentina like Aspen Ladd. If that was the case, I wouldn't want to see the fight. Like, I think the fight would be entertaining. There might be some scary moments here and there, but even then, I don't know. I think it would just be more of a very high-paced chess match. You know, I think GDR is not going to land a big shot like Aspen Ladd, you know, like she did on Aspen Ladd. Gordon Moore said Andrea shares her opinion about her past failings. I'm hoping she said she didn't go for submissions from her back, tried to escape instead, which she controlled time. Control time won for Roxy and JoJo. I think JoJo did enough to win that fight. I'm going to say that. Like JoJo, she won the fight. The Lauren Murphy fight, I think Andrea Lee won that fight. But the judges, man, they messed up. Marcus Bell said GDR. Oh, yeah, I read that. High Five, Andrea Lee versus Macy Barber. Well, Macy Barber got to get past Miranda Maverick first. And I don't know if she will. So we got Miranda Maverick versus Macy Barber. Winner of that fight fights Andrea Lee. Jason Rose said you roll into a leg lock. Amari roll. She's all legs, so she probably would, right? Megan Anderson's all legs, yeah. The Bosch, Andrea Lee needs a few more wins to make us forget that she lost to Roxanne. I agree, yeah, she's got to, man. Like, give me a few more wins. give me a few more wins, and we'll move on. Gordon said Andrea's chin isn't a question. No, it's not. Like she has a good chin. Yeah, stamina. I kind of agree with you in that. Well, I do agree with you in that. I think that's Andrea Lee's best showing, and you know, it kind of says another thing too. That also says that we don't really hold Antonina in that high regard as an MMA fighter. We don't. Like that fight was close. I picked Antonina, but all the while I'm thinking, I don't know, man. Because whenever she steps it up against these fighters like Caitlin Chikagan and Roxanne, she loses. So that does say one thing. Let's see. Stamina. She's at number 15. Who should be there instead? Let's see. Miranda Maverick needs to go ahead and get that 3-fight win streak going. She should. She will. Well, let's see. She beat Jo Jua. She beat Jillian Robertson. And if she beats Macy Barber, that should push her maybe to, number 11? Because she'll have beaten, an unranked fighter, a number 15 fighter. And what is Macy Barber ranked right now? She's still in the top 10, right? Or top 15. So yeah, if she beats this fighter here, Macy Barber, it should push her up. So Robert said walked right into a knockout Tour de France. Like she was trying to raise ahead of everyone being knocked out that night. Yeah, that's what I was about to say, Rob Henry. I figured that's what you meant. You meant Aspen Ladd. Yeah, she walked into that thing, And you don't see Valentina doing anything like that. No, I see a competitive fight, But anyways, what else, man, going on in this strawweight division right now? I got another video coming. I got my strawweight list. I want to see these next few fights. I got my strawweight schedule. I'm gonna do this video. My strawweight schedule for at least the next few months on how things need to come out. Who needs to fight who? I'll be matchmaker. Let me be matchmaker. I think we'll get some good fights. I mean, on this screen right here, I would go ahead and make. Here's how I would do it right now. I mean, it's an odd number, right? It's an odd number out of these 7 fighters. But here's what I'm gonna do. No, I'm gonna save that for another video. I ain't gonna tell y'all how I'm gonna do it right now. Marina has good timing and never wastes her striking or kicks. Yeah, she's a very, very efficient striker. She's a very economical striker. And she hits harder than Joanna. But the thing is, I think high five, Joanna has a better jab. Like, Marina Rodriguez is a good, accurate hitter, but I don't see her pumping a jab out enough. Like, if she would have been pumping that jab out against Michelle Waterson, I guarantee you she probably could have knocked Michelle Waterson out. If she would have been pumping the jab out on Michelle Waterson, she could have knocked her out. Because if that jab stays in the face, boom comes the right hand. The right hand lands with ease. Gordon said Roxy embarrassed other better fighters than her, like Antonina. Oh, yeah. Roxy, that's what I'm saying. Roxy's got a resume of a lot of wins and a lot of losses, but, she's never really been stopped before. Maybe once, but she's never been stopped. Very, very underrated when you look at her resume. I mean, people don't understand what she does in there. And she'll embarrass you all day. Unless you got a style like Lauren Murphy or Viviane Araújo, she'll embarrass you. Roxy will embarrass you. Macy, Antonina, yeah, Shannon Dobson. Stamina. One judge thought Roxy lost that fight. It could clearly have been more embarrassing than it was. Robert Henry said Miranda Maverick taking out all other young fighters in the division. Right. Yeah. Which is good. But I mean, man, when you start getting in there with them old heads, them veterans, that's tough, man. Like the veterans are what you're gonna have to worry about. Like Miranda taking on Roxy or Caitlin Chikagan, Andrea Lee. Those fighters with fight years on them. Man, that's when it's gonna really get tough. Like I'm gonna continue to pick Miranda over most of these young fighters just because I feel like her work ethic is better and her ground game is better than the fighters on the tier that she's on. Like Miranda's better than Montana. She's better than Jillian. She's better than. I think she's better than Macy in my opinion. I think Miranda's better than Macy. But when you start to get into that top 10, that's a different story. You and everything veterans like Jennifer Maya. Jessica Andrade, we ain't even gonna talk about that upper echelon yet, but Miranda I think is gonna hold it down where she's at, and she'll continue to develop, and eventually she'll probably retire maybe one or two of these fighters in the top 10, whether it be Jessica I or Roxanne. Lolita Firo. Yeah, Manal Firo, I like what I'm seeing out of her. I know Marcus said he's holding the hype on her. I like what I've seen. Like I said, I've seen all her fights. I can confidently say I've seen all her fights because, I sat down and watched them all one night. I like what I see in her approach, on how she delivers her striking and how comfortable she looks in there as far as, not being too tight. I think Manon Firo has the ability to make some noise and retire some people as well. Manon Firo, I think she could knock out Marina Moreau. If not knock out Marina Moreau, because Marina Moreau got good boxing, I think Manon Firo might submit. I think Manon Firo might submit Marina in this fight. She's the bigger fighter, and she can fight in the clinch, and she's good at taking these. She's got good takedowns as well. Manon Firo's strong, man. Like Manon Firo's strong. Don't see her so much as scoring a knockout, but I think she could submit Marina in this fight. Get this fight to the ground. I see her scoring a submission or ground and pound. And don't count out her karate kicks to the body. Like, y'all got to see how she be throwing them side kicks to the body, man. Like, Manon Firo is, Robot Chicken. She's nasty with it. Like, Leah McCourt. Y'all know who Leah McCourt is. She gave her a tough fight. That fight could have went to Manon Firo. That's how high weight she's fought at. Some people think Manon Firo should be a 135 right now. She's so big and strong. But like I said, I'm not saying she can beat everybody or beat everybody. She can beat everybody in the flyweight division. I think Manon Firo still got to go through the motions, but Robot Chicken said Maverick versus Arujo. That would be a good fight. I think Arujo definitely has a better striking, but I think it'd be on Maverick to take that fight in the deep waters. You know what I mean? You just got to take it. You got to test the gas tank. Oh, Jason Rose, I'm being biased. Okay, Jason. I'm just saying, man. Like, she's more so well-rounded than these fighters on the lower level. Like, who can you say out of these fighters from 11 through 15 are really well-rounded? Like, she came in here and she started beating these other fighters, and she probably will continue to grow. Like, they're on this level because they couldn't beat some of the top 10 fighters, right? her mission is to surpass these other fighters. Like, she's amongst these unranked fighters and the lower ranked fighters because she just got here and now she's ready to move on, you know. These other fighters, they're falling, you know, so she's trying to pull herself out of there where, you know, I think Macy Barber, she's got to still grow. You see, Jillian Robertson was knocked out because she still got to knocked out of the ranking because she still got to grow. Antonia Shevchenko was falling because she still got to grow. Miranda's trying to elevate because she is growing. You know what I mean? That's just obvious, man. High five, Manon is physically stronger. Yeah, she's definitely. Yeah, because you got to remember, Marina Moreau was a natural strawweight. Yeah, like she was a strawweight first, and she's not that big. You know, she's not that big. Manon Firo, like I said, could be 135. Gordon said Marina had a very short notice, but Michelle's kicks to her ribs are what I think stopped her from trying for a finish. Yeah, I think that's probably what it was. Like when the body shots started tagging her. High five said Macy loves shadow boxing. I don't know if I see Miranda KOing Macy Barber. I could see Miranda submitting Macy Barber. I think if she takes a page out of I think if she takes a page out of Roxanne's book, if she takes a few pages out of Roxy's book, takes this fight to the ground, only strike when she has to, you know, set up her left hand. You know, she's a southpaw. She sets up her left hand but stays away from the right hand of Macy. You know, she'll have some success on the feet, but I think Miranda's game plan needs to be in inside, you know, completely on the inside. You know, you got to smother the power. You know, you got to clinch up. I think Miranda's stronger. You know, y'all saw Alexa Grasso was stronger than Macy, right? Macy's a big girl, but she's not that physically strong. I think if Miranda goes on the inside, clinches up, she take this fight to the ground, that's where she needs to be. You know, Macy was Miranda Maverick was picking up Victoria Leonardo. That's a big girl, you know. So I see her using her strength more so in this fight to avoid the power of Macy Barber. You know, I wouldn't stay on the outside with Macy Barber, not at all. Like, Macy can get sloppy, but she's always going to try. You know, Macy's a dog, bro. Macy is a dog. So I wouldn't box with Macy unless you got that caliber, you know, boxing like Alexa Grasso did. You know, Alexa Grasso boxed her all day, but even she had trouble in the third round, right? Macy almost came on strong, right? So no, I think taking it to the ground in the first round is what she needs to do. You know, you got to outstrength Macy Barber and put the weight on her, put the muscle on her, and look for the submission early. You know, get Macy out of there. Macy gets stronger as the fight goes on. Y'all notice that, right? Macy Barber gets stronger when the fight goes on. So I think Miranda Maverick, you got to look for a submission. Got to look for a submission, or you got to look for a TKO on the ground. Yes, I don't really, I don't think she's got that power to KO her, and I don't think she's gonna be looking to KO Macy. I think, it'll have to be a grappling match. Gordon said, had there been a fourth round, Michelle might have had Marina in real pain. Oh yeah. Robot Chicken said Miranda will beat her with MMA IQ. Yeah, that's what I think, Robot Chicken. I think it's going to be IQ. You know, it's going to be IQ in this fight. She's going to make those adjustments throughout the fight, and she's just going to really start to pick her shots and eventually get on the inside, you know, pick whatever she wants to do as a game plan. Macy's it factor, it will be her kill switch, and that's what Miranda will have to watch out for. Right, Marcus? Yeah, kill switch, man, that can end it all right there. I mean, one big punch can put you in a different mind frame of just wanting to quit. One big punch might make you say, damn, I don't want to face this anymore. So if Macy lets that kill switch go from round 1, 2, and 3, you'll have trouble. So you got to get a fighter out of there like Macy, or completely nullify her like Roxy and Alexa Grasso did. I mean, Roxy did a better job. I mean, Roxy nullified her. So if you can't stop her, you got to nullify her. Marcus said Alexa Grasso has a kill switch, but I get disgusted because she has the opportunity to use it. She don't. Yeah, she don't. I don't really think she does have a kill switch, honestly. I don't think so. Let me see. Stamina. Alexa Grasso leaves her kill switch here in Mexico. She should travel with it more. Right. That's what I was saying. Yeah, I don't think she's got one. I mean, she probably got one, like you said, but, she leaves it at home. Gordon said, have you seen the video clips of Valentina watching Antonina's fights? She may appear dispassionate and all business, unemotional, but not regarding Antonina. I think she wants revenge against Andrew. Oh, yeah, Gordon. I be watching them things. Like, I was watching, like, the recent ones where people posted up Valentina watching Antonina's fight. She's in it, man. Like, she's a student of the game. Like, when she's in her corner, if that's you talking about the videos in her corner, right? Yeah, man, like Valentina, she's passionate, man. She's ready. Like, you don't see her show that much emotion. Like Gordon, like, I'll be looking at, you can hear her, of course, you can hear Valentina, but when they show that cam of Valentina in the corner, just like cheering her sister on, and like, or when she's doing something wrong, yeah, that's a real student of the game right there. Like, because she's thinking, like, look, you need to do what I'm doing. Like, do what I'm thinking right now. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, she's passionate, man. I was looking at some of them videos people posted. Like, Valentina was, like, wilding out in that corner. You see Pavel, he kind of chilling. Pavel just kind of, like, laid back looking. But, Valentina's the one, like, screaming and hollering for her sister. She's rooting for her. And I like that. I mean, they got a bond, That's how it should be. Yeah. Oh, Jason, she's gonna throw the one hitter quitter, but it's all in if she lands it. I'm expecting her to throw the one hitter quitters in this fight, so you got to be prepared for that. The Bosch, Megan versus Jessica Andrade. The Bosch, the crazy matchup. I'm gonna go with Megan Anderson. I'm going to go with Megan Anderson in that fight. I think Megan Anderson is going to home in a right hand. That's just a funny matchup. But I'm going to go with Megan. I think Megan can drop the bomb early. Yeah, the boss. I'm going to say Megan Anderson got that, man. She's going to drop the bomb. She's going to drop the bomb with a few times with that right hand. And she'll end it. Or she'll land a big knee to the head of Jessica Andrade, and that's it. And if you talk, especially if you're talking about 145, I mean, that's just a funny matchup, I know, but I can't even really picture it, though, man. All right, what else? Stammen said Valentina has never expressed interest in revenge against anyone that beat her sister. Folks stay putting the fan in fantasy, but that's not a real thing. She'd lose way more if she was like that. Yeah. High five. Joanna is fighting in September. Any clue who's going to be her opponent? Dern versus Marina might not work. High five. It might be... Her next opponent might be Marina. If Marina doesn't want to fight Dern in July, we might have Joanna versus Marina Rodriguez. Don't be surprised. That might sound like the plan. What do y'all think? If Joanna's fighting in September, Marina Rodriguez doesn't want to fight in July against Mackenzie Dern, She wants to wait a few months before her next fight. She wants a full training camp, right? Well, Marina Rodriguez might be fighting Joanna next. And that sounds like a plan for me. I want that fight. I've been calling for that fight on this channel. If you haven't heard it, you can go back and look at some videos. And make sure y'all subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Yeah, if you haven't subscribed, I got a few people in here. Some new people, Nabosh and Rick Colombo. Yeah, if y'all haven't subscribed, make sure y'all do. If you have, thank you. If you haven't, you can subscribe. Please do. Marcus said Megan versus Andrade will be like trying to catch a guinea pig from stealing your snacks. Megan was Zapatella with the right hand. Gordon, that's what I'm hoping for. Valentina to slip up because for her desire of revenge, and that Andrea won't slip up because of emotion. Val hides it, but that's showbiz. Very rarely you see Valentina show emotion, but I've seen her at fights show that emotion. But I think the one fight that you can get feeling out of her is the Amanda Nunes fight. When you mentioned Amanda Nunes, it kind of triggers something. Not over emotional, but yeah, when you bring up Amanda Nunes, that's the time you see that emotion in her. I mean, enjoy yourself if that's how you get that. Andrade versus Anderson. Yeah, Robot Chicken. It's just a funny matchup that Bosch was talking about. Yeah, it's 145, man. So yeah, that's definitely not gonna happen. I don't even think Amanda Nunes versus Jessica Andrade would ever happen. That fight would have never happened either, man, for real. All right, yeah, but let's see, a few more minutes here, and I'm gonna go. I'll probably be back on tomorrow again for sure. We'll talk tomorrow. Let's see. High five, Marina. Marina seems eager to fight Joanna, and it's Joanna's last fight. I think UFC won't give Joanna, Weili, or Rose. UFC has bigger plans for Rose, Weili, and Carla. Weili might fight Carla. Oh, that would be messed up. I mean, Carla needs her fight now. I hope they don't put up another barrier in front of Carla. Let Weili chill out, get another fight, and let Carla do her thing. But yeah, Marina really wants that fight with Joanna, I think. If she's holding out for that fight, then I'm fine with that. If she didn't want the Dern fight, and if she's waiting until September for the Joanna fight, I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that though, because that's like I said, I was calling for that fight first. That's fine. She already took a short notice fight. She took a short notice fight against Michelle Waterson, and if she wants to fight Joanna in about 3 or 4 months, hey, so be it. That's a bigger fight for her. That's like a guaranteed title eliminator. You beat Joanna, boom. Nothing else can be said. You go in there and beat Joanna, that's what you were looking for. Hey, that's even bigger. So I like that. If she's waiting for that matchup, then that's fine. If that's Joanna's next opponent, that's cool. Yeah, Stammer. I think Megan and PFL would be good. PFL, yeah, Megan at 155 would be so much better. I'm gonna say great. I think it would be good for it though. Carla, Rose, Weili, Joanna, and Dern are healthy, ready to fight. Yeah, this right here, this crop of girls right here, man, like that's good matchups all the way around, man. Like ain't no need to hold back. Like I'd be like, yo, Joanna, I'm cutting you if you don't fight. I'd be like, look, every fight in this picture is a good fight. I'd be like, Joanna, you fighting in September and you are fighting Marina Rodriguez or you're gone. I'd be like, you fighting in September against Marina Rodriguez or you're gone. It's not a bad fight. You need to take the fight. Then I would say, Carla and Rose, you two are fighting. Y'all are going to run it back. Or I'd be like, look, Joanna, oh, you want this title shot? You were fighting Wei Lee again. You want your fight of the year again? You fight her again. Yeah, high five. Yeah, I think Joanna, if she beats anybody in the top 5 one time, one fight, she'll get it. Marcus Woodley and Jake Paul agreed to a boxing match. Yeah, we were talking about that earlier. I know you want to see the Holyfield versus McBride one. I don't. I know you want to see it, Marcus. Marcus, they trying to get blocked, bringing up this bad news all the time now. Or maybe I need to start timing Marcus out. I'm going to time him out for like 15,000 seconds, like it says at the bottom. Like when you time somebody out for 500 or whatever, I'm going to time Marcus out for like 10,000 seconds every time he bring up one of these bad fights. Or maybe I should time. No, he didn't. No, I might time myself out. I brought up Paige versus Rachel. I mean, that might be it. No. Is it entertaining? Paige Van Zandt versus Rachel Ostovich. I mean, I'm starting to like bare knuckle boxing. You know, I've never really like not been a fan of it. You know, I've been turning it on more. Big KFC is fun to watch. I'll watch it, but I'm not watching these YouTubers fight. What do y'all like more, BKFC or do you like the YouTube fighting, like the Triller matches? Do you like the exhibition Triller matches or do you like BKFC? I like BKFC better. Like I don't really want to see Floyd versus whatever his name is, Paul. I don't want to see any more of those. I don't want to see Woodley fighting Paul. I'd rather watch Paige versus Rachel. I don't know. Call me crazy. I'd rather watch these bare knuckle fighters. Like it ain't even got to be them two girls specifically. Like, I'll just watch the men bare knuckle fight. I'd rather watch men bare knuckle fight before I watch any more of these exhibition box matches. I think the only one I watched was Roy versus Mike Tyson. I didn't watch any of the other ones. I didn't watch the Askren versus Paul one either. Mr. Lee said, "Who YouTube fight?" Yeah, like Mr. Lee, they got YouTube fighters. Like Jake Paul and what's his other guy's name, Logan Paul. YouTube fighters. Those YouTube fighters. They've been infiltrating boxing and infiltrating MMA a little bit. They've been trying to take money from the hardworking fighters. I mean, well. That's how it goes sometimes. I mean, when entertainment comes, entertainment will take over. Like, if that's what people want to see. Yeah, Robert, it almost sounded a little crazy because I was going left while everybody else was going right. But I'd rather watch bare knuckle boxing. I'd rather actually watch Paige and Rachel or Bret Hart or Beck Rollins or these other men bare knuckle fight. I'd rather watch that more than any of these Triller matches. Like, I don't want to see any of these exhibition matches because bare knuckle boxing is actually a career for these fighters. I'd rather see that, man. Definitely. don't know. I don't know about that, Gordon. I don't know about that. That would be like some psycho stuff for her. That would be psycho. I mean, I don't think so. I don't even think she's on her mind. High Five said, has anyone watched Whaley's cousin fight in one championship? If Whaley ever fights Carla, we might see how her cousin Jingwei versus Augusta. Huh. I might have seen her. I probably didn't know her name, though. I've checked out a few of them one championship fights. Y'all know ONE FC, their Grand Prix, Atomweight Grand Prix got pushed back to June too, right? No dates made, though. Yeah, no dates have been made yet. No dates have been made for the ONE FC Grand Prix yet, sadly. Because it was supposed to start in May. But, yeah, the tournament got pushed back because of COVID protocol. Well, we got the Atomweights, Invicta Atomweight Phoenix Rising Tournament, June 11th. I'm looking forward to that. Atomweight Tournament, Invicta FC. Yeah, tune into that. But, yeah, let me get up out of here, y'all. Let's get ready to roll out. We'll talk some more. We'll talk some more tomorrow. I'll probably come up with another topic. But, yeah, man, like I said, just leave some comments if you didn't catch the stream. What do y'all think about Mackenzie Dern's chances? Like I said, I think it's really all going to come down to what path she chooses. And I have, like I said, I have been watching her. I like her improvements, her growth in her skill set. I just think it's going to be a long road to being that well-rounded fighter she needs to be a defending champion. Comes down the roads, though, man, it might be an interesting fight. I just think that Joanna's that one roadblock she don't need right now. So, yeah, I think we had a good talk today, y'all. We'll talk to more tomorrow. I don't know when y'all talk about Marina Rodriguez and her situation. Is she holding out for a better fight with Joanna? I don't know. We'll talk about it tomorrow, y'all. Hold on. Let me write that down. Let me screenshot that. Oh. All right. So, yeah. Make sure y'all subscribe if you haven't subscribed. And, drop a thumbs up as well. Sorry, I was reading something. Yeah, make sure y'all subscribe, like always. And, thanks for the thumbs up. And shout out to everybody that came through in the chat. We'll be on around the same time tomorrow, about 7 o'clock. I just wanted to focus on Mackenzie today because that was a topic y'all were really discussing. Y'all were talking about it in the chat the other day. So I said, let's talk about Mackenzie Dern. What are her chances of getting that title shot? So I think they're close. I think depending on moves that are being made, chances might be high she gets it. Now, the chances high she's going to win, I don't know. Don't know. But, yeah, we'll talk Marina Rodriguez tomorrow. We'll talk about some other stuff, Clarissa Shields and her debut. Make sure y'all come back through tomorrow. And shout out to the new people in the chat and the Bosch, coming through. Columbo is coming up in here. Just some new people in here. Gordon Morris. I know Gordon Morris be coming through in the videos, but thanks for coming into the chat. And Jason Rose, he showed his face. I rarely ever see him come through. I mean, he definitely come through in videos, but never really get a chance to catch Jason Rose in the chat. So, Oh, Stamina. Oh, I know it's time to go now, Stamina. Stamina over here talking Stamina talking delusional, so it's time to go now. He talking crazy, so it's time to go, y'all. All right. So, yeah, man, I'm out of here, y'all. Like I said, like always, I'm Combo Breaker 99. We'll see y'all at 7 tomorrow. Make sure y'all subscribe.